Thank you.
I'm totally in favor of creating an economic development committee, but I don't think staff has A, the expertise, or B, the time to create the terms of reference. So I think that last part of the clause has to be that Councillor Rhodes and other interested members of council be directed to return to council with a draft mandate for the community.
I would be happy to work with Councillor Rhodes on the terms of reference. I think it's a good learning experience for him.
And we had this discussion already, Allison, and I've actually gone kind of partway down that road in terms of doing some research in the smaller communities.
Yeah, but
Do we actually need terms of reference, or
yes.
or should it be just a general committee where we discuss economic development on the island in all its different forms, rather than terms of reference saying we should discuss this and discuss that?
Well, I think the terms of reference are to identify what sort of outcome we want. You know, at the end of what length of time, you know, what are we asking this committee to do? Because it's a pretty broad topic, unless we identify what we'd like to see come out of the work.
Do we want an economic development plan developed? I mean, that would be a prime part of the mandate. Or
I think that would be the, that's really the key is to put together a plan that we can actually follow with a degree of certainty, that we can push this because we have this asset or whatever to, you know, to enable that to go forward.
It's been identified in their strategic capital plan.
Exactly.
Well, a lot of municipalities have these types of committees in place. There's lots of information out there that we could pull together to bring back some draft terms of reference. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, no,
so you're okay with staff being directed to prepare?
I would say staff and Councillor Rhodes work together.
I was thinking as well, should it be a subcommittee of the finance committee? It's really important for our finances.
In the draft terms of reference I've been looking at and working on, I think that it's important that communication be set in place. But I don't know that it would be a subcommittee. We don't know if the Financial Advisory Committee has really any interest in, as a committee, in specifically pursuing this. So
I think it's part, you know, once the budget process is over with, I think the next part is to identify revenue streams. And that seems to me that works into economic development. Is there a seconder for?
Are we making the amendment? And that staff and Councillor Rhodes be directed to work together to prepare?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All right.
And I think it should be a standalone committee because it's a significant enough subject with some crossover, perhaps. But not,
It just
not a
puts,
subcommittee because it doesn't get it.
it puts my ideas of super committees out the window.
You wouldn't
That's
some.
Okay. Any further comments? All those in favor? Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Tim.
And we have information items and the recommendations that council received for information. The correspondence as outlined in section 11 of the May 14th, 2012 regular council agenda.
And I just wanted to make a comment before we.
I've got other information to get into the minutes to 11.8.
Okay, and I want to talk about 11.4. Should we pass the?
Yes. Yeah, if we could just deal with the recommendation.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Scissors, second. So moved. Second.
So, second, and I have a question. This references the fact that these copies of these are available on the website. Where?
In the agenda itself. So if you actually go into the copy of this agenda
Yeah.
and click on one of those.
But none of them are live.
Oh,
Yeah,
I did open,
Yes,
I did open some.
And you have to click on the blue links.
So I did last night, and it on the light blue.
Which one are you talking about? I've got the agenda up right here.
They were live when I checked them the other day.
Which,
One on the
which,
website.
Yesterday afternoon at 5:30, because I clicked on Lee Renison Primex.
Lee Renison? Okay, let me just click on it.
I read that on Friday night.
Yeah, it came up.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I've had it happen when I get really,
I guess.
Is this
I
before
am a nerd.
you must have been so busy.
Was this before the cocktail hour or after the cocktail hour?
I'll blame Apple on that.
I just, can I make a comment just on, where is that?
Of course.
No, I just wonder if we have to, no, we've already,
We just
okay, moved it second, okay. I just wanna make a comment about Malcolm Brody's, letter, which is 11.4.
We haven't got it with us.
I've got
Oh.
it.
sorry, the police
Would you
services
like to read it,
contract.
Allison?
No.
Can you just read, it's short.
Well, it's actually 4 pages. His.
No, just his letter to me, if it's on the.
Oh, okay. Dear Jack. It said Mayor Adlar, but it's scratched in.
No, I know Malcolm, he used to be a lawyer.
Read Police Services Contract Update. For your info, please note that Richmond City Council at its regular meeting held Monday, April 23rd, considered the above matter and adopted the following resolution. That the Minister of Justice be requested to answer the questions as circulated on the table and attached to and forming part of the minutes of the council meeting of April 23rd, and that copies of the resolution and the questions be sent to the mayors of the RCMP Lower Mainland Detachment cities and the Richmond MLAs and MPs and the provincial leader of the opposition. Enclosed you will find a copy of the questions, blah, blah, blah.
So they're a little cheesed off about raising the rates for police work. And I don't know if the rates are being raised on Bowen Island per se from the last contract. So I don't think they've signed the contract because until they get answers to these questions.
Yeah.
And Richmond is one of the bigger RCMP detachments in the Lower Mainland.
Probably next.
So I thought it would be interesting for us to find out
Can I
what we're
answer?
stuck with, yeah.
Richmond, North Van, Surrey,
Burnaby.
Burnaby all pay 100% for the cost of their RCMP detachments as a budget item. They have to, Squamish is probably the same, but I'm not sure. Any community that's over 10,000,
Over
15,000,
5,000.
well,
5,000.
between 5 and 10 you pay something. Anything over 10 you pay the whole shot.
That's right.
And it's part of your budget, it's a line item in your budget. Because we're under 5, we don't pay directly anything as part of the municipal budget. It's included as a line. Karen gets a requisition from the province saying collect this much for policing tax. And so all unincorporated and small electoral areas and all small municipalities below 5,000 all get collected by the province, charged by the province for
And they
policing
remit on our
services.
behalf.
And it's just like school tax or MFA or MIA, something is collected on their tax bill and sent to the province. The province administers the contract for all of the unincorporated and small
So we don't get to
communities.
see the contract either.
So we don't get
Okay.
to see the contract and we don't get, other than the, the fellow in charge of our area coming and talking to us about deliverables, we don't get much say in the contract. But the big issue with big municipalities was they got this notice after they'd all passed their budgets.
Yeah.
That they were, or their budget processes were all done, and all of a sudden they're told you're gonna have to pay X more for policing. And that's been the issue for years. So it's not, the
Okay.
timing is not right, and I thought with the new contract negotiations, what I was reading and hearing, that wasn't gonna happen this time.
Thank you for setting me straight.
I sat on the Small Communities Policing Task Force when the whole taxation system was set up.
Okay, is there anything further that,
Yeah, on Saturday, aside from the solid waste, Translink is doing community consultation
oh, I saw
on the expansion of, or their
bridge to
their
the
North
mainland?
Shore area transit plan, which is the process. So this is our opportunity. They're doing it outside the general store. Fortunately, it looks like the weather's gonna be good. So this is our chance to go down and see what it is they're suggesting. There's two things that directly affect Bowen. One is they've suggested a route extension of the Eagle Cliff route out to Hood Point, and I have no idea how that got on the table. Tim and I were at the meeting when the idea was presented, and
Who presented the idea?
well, it came when Translink had a meeting of all the councils back in January, to which we were all invited. Tim and I went in the North Shore councils, and they presented a summary of all the ideas that had come forward and the ones they wanted to go forward and get more community consultation on. And so at this point, they're getting more community consultation. The Ferry Advisory Committee, acting in its capacity as a transportation advisory committee, has provided information to Translink, the North Shore group, that, well, why did you look at extending Eagle Cliff to Hood Point? Why didn't you look at going out to Town Point, which is a growth area? Or why didn't you look at extending the Eagle Cliff run across and up to Valhalla or Queen Charlotte Heights, where there's a lot of people that take the bus? So it's our opportunity to go down and say, why are you looking at these routes? What's the methodology? This is what we'd like to see. So we gotta get the community to go out. And the other route they're doing, which is, they're proposing, is from Horseshoe Bay to Phibbs Exchange along the highway. And that will make it really helpful to Bowen people to get to, because that's down by the Second Narrows Bridge. So it makes it really helpful to get to Cap College for the students, and makes it really easy to change and get to Simon Fraser. So that one, I think we should all support, because it's gonna have ways along the way so you can get off at the top of Lonsdale or,
The connection through North Van is
yeah.
right now.
yeah. So, I think that's one that we should all support.
Okay.
And then ask questions and provide information about where we'd like to see the route changed to or expanded.
Peter, did you wanna say anything?
Yeah, the issue about Hood Point, I don't know where that ever came up in discussion, because we've been doing Hood Point for years on an on-call basis. And I think that's what the level of service the people out there want. If they need the bus, they phone us, we go and get them. If they arrive in the cove and they need to ride out, we take them out. I don't know how receptive they'll be to have a bus at the caretaker's house out there on an ongoing basis. And my 11-year-old daughter looked at the schedule and said it won't work on the weekends because we're doing Mountain Garden and Queen Charlotte and Artisan Square, so you won't have time to get down to the ferry if you go out to Hood Point. So I don't know where that's coming from, and of the 40 issues that they're looking at on the North Shore, it all focuses on money. And at the moment, there is no money. So we're doing an exercise here. It may be a dry run, because unless there's funding behind it, we're not going to see a lot of these changes being put into place. The one to Eagle Cliff doesn't cost anything. That's why they probably did it. They looked on the map. It's other than mileage and a little bit of fuel, it's doable to someone looking at a map. It doesn't involve any money other than fuel in the tank and a little more maintenance. So it's an easy one, and somebody looking at it, where can we expand? That's the only area we can expand to, given the schedule we have right now. Areas on the island are not well served. Queen Charlotte Heights, Valhalla, the golf course, these are areas that we can't even touch under the present levels of service.
So let's make sure we make that very plain and simple to the Translink people who will be here on Saturday.
So one other thing for the record, for people watching the video, if you can't go down on Saturday to meet, it's all going to be online on the Translink's website. There's a questionnaire. Didn't go to check this morning to see if it's up yet, but they're soliciting online info as well.
And would there be a connection on the municipal website to that questionnaire on the
The notice is on the municipal website, and I don't know if
Yeah, it's got a link.
It has a link on it. Yeah.
Anything further?
No.
Anybody want to say anything about anything? I have a oh, did you want to say something?
This is to Allison about ferries. I think we're in a very good position to have people visit the island because of affordability. if I take my truck and trailer over to Nanaimo and back, it's about $600, which really hits the pocketbook, and you know, we are that close and time-wise and fare-wise that I think we're an attractive alternative for a day visit. So we're gonna see a lot more people visiting the island.
So I'm suggesting that we've got a little bit of time. It's 11:43.
It's a nice day.
You're not gonna dismiss us early,
No,
Mr. Mayor?
no. Well, at least I'm gonna try not to.
I was just about to give you kudos. for
Yeah.
ahead of-
Yeah.
ahead of
Well,
schedule.
don't-
Gold
Don't,
star.
we still might be ahead, but we can do part of the closed meeting for tomorrow. We can do today so that we can deal with the one item that's on the closed council meeting to the exclusion of everything else. Is everybody in favor of having a
So
closed,
then we
short
don't have
closed
to meet
meeting?
tomorrow?
No.
That would really be great, but
Yeah, the closed meeting's reasonably lengthy tomorrow, isn't it? Like,
It's
Yeah.
only 5 minutes. Does
Apparently.
everybody have their closed agenda with them?
Well, it's an hour and
No,
An
it's
hour,
only-
50 minutes.
but the topic you're wanting to move is only a 5-minute one.
Oh.
yeah, that's the one that's why I'm saying let's get it over with. If that's in everybody's interest.
So while we're still in open meeting, just for a second, I would ask council to pass a resolution to move to a closed meeting to review items pursuant to section 91A of the community charter.
So,
So moved.
so, all those in favor? Okay, we're adjourning the open meeting.